Okay, I think we are live. We are live on Facebook, all right, on Focus on the Family Singapore. And welcome everyone. A big hi to everyone out there who's tuning into our Focus on the Family Singapore Facebook Live. And if you can hear us, you can see us. Okay, click on the like, click on the love, buttons, and just to send your reactions button to us and to encourage all of us, myself and my guests who are with me in tonight's Facebook Live. All right. So once again, good evening to everyone. My name is EJ, and I'm from Focus on the Family Singapore. All right. And today is a very special episode. All right. Today in the month of June. All right. And we are keeping up with Father's Day. This month is Father's Day. All right. Last month, May, was Mother's Day, right? So this month, June, it's Father's Day, all right? And we are turning our attention, our spotlight, all right, on dads. Okay, so today's Facebook Live is about the unspoken things about dads, all right? And so together, I'm really, really privileged. I'm so heartened to have two special guests with me on our Facebook Live tonight. Darren, all right? Darren, all of you probably know him. Yes, Darren, all right? He's an actor, business owner, and a sailor, all right? We all know him. He has a yacht, all right? The yacht business, in a sense. I got to know it earlier. And of course, the other guest with me is Daniel Lim. He's a research coordinator. So welcome to my two special guests, Darren and Daniel. And so I'm going to pass the mic to them because I only mentioned their names, but I would like them to give a little bit more of introduction about themselves, and maybe to Darren and Daniel. As you share more about yourselves, can you also describe your fatherhood journey in maybe 3 words? All right, 3 words. So, how about Darren? Darren, go first.
Yes. Okay, I think tonight is very, very special because you've got 2 Lims here, Daniel Lim and Darren Lim. So tonight is called Lim Pei Kalekong.
That's a nice one.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I'm really excited to be here, and hi to everybody out there on Facebook Live. I'm Darren Lim, and I'm an actor, I'm a host, I'm a sailor. Yes, I'm running a yacht chartering business at this moment. And I've got 4 kids. I've got Kristen, she's my eldest, she's 16 years old. And then Jairus is 14, Wei is 12, and Elliot is 8. So 4 kids. So 3 words to describe my fatherhood journey. I would say it's exciting, it's rewarding, yeah, and at the same time, it's also very humbling.
Humbling. Okay. You see, we often talk about parenting and the fatherhood journey as, very exciting. It's all the positive and so fun, right? But to hear you share about humbling, all right, later we definitely want to hear more from you, Darren, and I think humbling for you is being humbled 4 times.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you, Darren. We're really going to hear more from you. And let's hear from the other Lim. All right, Daniel. All right, Daniel, tell us a bit more about yourself, your family, and describe your fatherhood journey in 3 words as well.
Yeah, hi. So my name is Daniel. I am only married for about 1.5 years, but I have a daughter of 6 months right now. Yeah.
Wow.
So fatherhood has been quite fun. It is also quite challenging and at the same time very exciting because you have something new every single day, and every few weeks she has like new behaviors and one new things from us. So this is my first child, so everything is like really fresh, really new. Yeah, so it's extremely exciting. Yeah.
Are you getting enough sleep?
Yeah. That was my question.
That's a very good question. I think with all the work from home, it has helped a little because it cut down on the traveling time. So I could catch more sleep here and there. Yeah.
Yeah, lucky you, because 4 times round, I mean, it's already almost about 10 years that I'm not getting enough sleep.
I was talking to other dads in some other previous show, and when we talk about sleep, right? A lot of the dads ask, what is sleep, huh? Yeah. We are so sleep deprived, right? I mean, to be fair, not just the dads, but moms as well, right? Yeah. So, thank you both for your introduction, and, to all the Facebook Live audience as you're tuning in. Tonight we have with us Darren and Daniel. Both have surname Lim. My surname is not Lim, but we are still together on this show. The common factor for all 3 of us is we are dads. All right. So Daniel has a 6-month-old daughter. Darren has 4 children, ranging from the primary school to the sort of secondary school age range. And I have a son, 6 years old as well. So you see, we have all the different categories and ranges. Yeah. All right. So really, if you have any questions for all of us, all right, myself, Darren, and Daniel, please feel free to plonk into the Facebook Live comments and throw your questions. But in the midst of it, also give us your likes, your thumbs up, and all those, all right, to give us your support. All right, so we are going to jump in straight to our conversation tonight. All right, unspoken things about being a dad. You know, I often hear a lot of people talk about the motherhood journey, moms. You know, there's a lot of ups, a lot of downs. There are a lot of challenges involved. Tears of joy. All right, tears of frustration as well. However, you know, I sometimes also feel that the conversations about fatherhood is pretty much lacking, or we don't often talk about it, you know. Yet, as the 3 of us here, I'm sure we can attest to this, that being a dad is, like what Darren said, humbling, exciting, you know, challenging, like what Daniel has mentioned, but it's life-changing.
Oh, definitely.
All right?
Yeah.
Definitely, right? So we want to hear from you. Let's start from the very beginning, all right? So for Daniel, it's traced back 1 year plus ago when you first knew, you know, you're going to be a dad. For Darren, sorry, you have to, you know, Back to the Future, 17 years ago. Yeah. You know, what was going through both your minds, you know, when you first learned that you were going to be a dad, a father, you know, what was that experience and that first year like, you know, as you talk about entering into fatherhood? Yeah, how about Darren? Let's hear from you first.
Me, okay.
Back to the Future.
You know, I can never forget that day because my wife complains that she's not feeling well. So I sent her to the hospital to go see a doctor. And the next thing I know, after about an hour or so, she parents, and I was in the car, just at the car park. And she says, you know what? The doctor says I'm pregnant. You're going to be a dad. And so suddenly there was tunnel vision. And I hear ringing in my ears. It went, and then tunnel vision. And then I already engaged my car into reverse gear. The next thing I knew, I stepped onto the accelerator and the car went back. And then there was a car that was coming and went, and then, yeah, it was very dramatic, very dramatic. I get out of the car. I apologized to the other driver, and I almost fell and tripped and fall. And it was like, I could feel butterflies in my stomach, and it's all that adrenaline rush all over me. It's just out of a sudden, I really do not know what to do. I'm just blanked, you know? So yeah, that was that first time when I knew that I'm going to be a father.
Wow. And you can still remember it so vividly, you know, the way you describe it is like such a memory, such a, you know, it was, I'm just sort of saying it's a trauma because of the accident, you know, but it was a good news. You heard, I'm sure it was a good, you were, you know, very excited.
Of course, very, very excited. Then went to the gynae and she says, you're very blessed. I said, really? Why? She said, because it's either baby's made on the first day of your marriage or the first day of your honeymoon. So it's good news. I say, oh, really? Good. Thank you.
Nice. How about for Daniel? You know, this is just a while ago, a year plus ago, probably, when you first heard that your wife was, you know, you're gonna be a dad. How does it come over for you?
Ours was okay. My wife is tuning in now. She says she wants to fact check me. So,
plus you're a researcher. I better say the correct things.
Yeah, because the journey was quite exciting and interesting because we found out that we are having Kyra actually on the first day of CB. Yeah, so it was like right before the CB commenced, right? So she quickly went to get her pregnancy test kit. Yeah, so I didn't find out on like outside on the roads because it was CB. We were at home. Yeah, so she went for the test. So I just wait there. Then I went to do my own things. I came back. Then she's done with the results. Then she just showed it to me. Yeah, so this is the part where this is disputed between me and her. So according to my story, is that I saw the results and I got very excited. So I jumped one time. Yeah, and then I'm like, oh, I'm so excited that I hugged her. Yeah, but according to her story, yeah, I jumped around the whole room, a few rounds. Yeah, then I came back and then hugged her. Yeah, so this one is disputed and very difficult to verify who's right. Yeah, so that was the beginning of the whole journey. Of course, we were really excited, but at the same time, because of the lockdown in place, right? Immediately I'm like, oh man, how am I gonna tell my parents? Like, should I do it over text, or should I like say it in person, or should I just video call it and just say it? Yeah, because if I do it in person, I have to wait like pretty long, right? Yeah, so yeah, in the end, we decided to just do a video call and let them know the good news. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see our Facebook Live audience tuning in, all commenting that it is very epic journeys that y'all went through, like a movie, from a drama scene. But both I can see that it's really a joy, whether the joy of just a smile or what your wife said, you were running and hopping around in the room for Daniel, and let's if we move forward. So Daniel, for yourself, so that was the initial stage. You got to know that you're gonna be a dad, and now baby has arrived. How has this 6 months been for you? Share with us, especially our audience who many might be young parents, to tuning in.
Yeah, for me, I had a good start because I managed to like take more leaves. So I saved up all my leaves in the year to like spend it at one shot. Yeah, then coupled with the paternity leave, so I have about a month. Yeah, to spend with my newborn and let my wife rest lah. Yeah, so that was quite cool because like I really get to spend a lot of time to take care of my daughter. Play with her and things like that. The first month I thought like, okay, maybe I spend more time, right? Then she will like be more attached to me, more like maybe she can recognize and smell or something. Yeah, but it turns out right, not exactly. Yeah, so she still goes to her mom for like comfort and this and that. So she typically only looks to me to play lah. Yeah, so that is the last 6 months I changed her diaper. Then there were a few times she pooped on me. Yeah, so those were learning journeys. Like, okay, must time properly, must know her reaction. Yeah, and how to like burp her properly so that she can sleep better. Yeah, all these things were very new. Of course, we have read up a little bit on this together with my wife. We read online, we read a book, we go for classes. Yeah, but all these things, when it comes to the real deal, it is still quite challenging because every baby is quite different. Their preferences are different, how they behave and everything. Yeah, so all these things is trial and error. So I'm glad that I read up, so it prepared me mentally. Yeah, but I still had the fun of trying to learn my way through it. Yeah.
Yeah, wow, and it seems like, because of this COVID situation, it has given you the opportunity to spend more time, to be more involved as a husband and as a dad, all right, dad to your daughter. Yeah, so that's really a good thing that has come out of it. And I'm sure your wife appreciates your support at home as well, right?
I hope so.
Okay, later after this, yeah, that's the most important, you're enjoying it, yeah. So I mean, to all the Facebook Live audience as you're tuning in, all right, and as you hear us share, hear Darren and Daniel share about experience, so maybe you can also type in the comment section, how was your experience like, for fatherhood, or for the mummies that are listening, how was it for your husband that was tuning in? Now, Darren, as you hear Daniel share, again, I need to tune back. You have lived this 4 times. The first year 4 times, and maybe from that perspective, can you share with us, how has how's each time? Is it different? Is it like new,
let's
different?
start from the first one, my eldest daughter. So we're both very blessed to have daughters. Sorry, EJ. Yeah, but they always say that the daughter is the father's lover, Yeah.
Hey, princess,
really very
princess.
precious. She's like a gem, So the first time when she was in my arms, wow, it was like, wow, this is my baby, and I could actually feel a pressure coming over my shoulder. It's like suddenly I could feel someone's hand over my shoulder. And it's like pressing down on me and saying, hey, you're different now. You're gonna be a father. You have to be responsible. You have to love her. You have to give her all that you can. You will risk your life. You will give up your life just for her because she's so precious. And tears would just come down. So even now when I talk about it, I can feel it. Yeah. Yeah. So that moment is unforgettable. It's like, wow, suddenly you're ordained. Yeah. And then my second son, he came at a very unusual timing on Friday the 13th, the darkest moment, so to speak. But you know what? His name is Jairus, actually means the warrior of light.
Wow.
So, and he's born at 4:13 a.m. exactly on the dot. Yeah. And so suddenly there was a revelation, it's like, wow, it is during the darkest moment that you need light, and that's why he's here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey,
So,
nice.
yeah. So, and then Wei, I was just rushing to work on that day, and he says, "Be on your way." All right. And then what happened was, I was actually standing by to go into the studio, and for filming work, if you are in the studio, the whole entire team cannot wait. So you need to be on time. You need to be there. So I was like hurrying him up. I said, "Hey, wait, you better come. Otherwise, I can't meet you. I need to welcome you to the world, So Wei, so he came on time and he said, "Hi, Wei, welcome to the world." Okay, I gotta go. I gotta go to the studio. I'll see you later. Okay, yeah. And then, So then Elliot was quite a smooth baby. So he came at the right time. Nothing very, very exciting, but it's still very precious. Yeah.
Yeah.
So all these 4 times is so special. Yeah.
So special, and I like the way that you recall every single one of them. It's like really so preciously etched into your memory, and it means so much, and that you can recall it so, like what I mentioned earlier, so vividly again, and I especially love what Darren you mentioned earlier about that when you carry your firstborn, and there was just that like weight upon your shoulder that now, hey, you will give everything for this young life. You in a sense, like a better word, like you die for this child, to protect,
Yeah.
to defend her, right? Yeah. So really, I think we all can concur that fatherhood has been a life-changing experience, journey for all of us. Whether is it with one child, or whether is it for Darren, who has gone through the experience four times, and it's still a journey right now. So I will just continue this conversation with Darren first. With 4 kids right now, all right, and I think everybody, all our Facebook Live audience, would really love to hear from you. How has 4 times the journey of fatherhood, all right? How has it changed you as a person?
I'm still in the making. I'm still changing. I'm still evolving every single day. I have new set of challenges, and you can see my range is very wide, from a 8-year-old who is still whining away, all the way up to a 16-year-old who is now almost a young adult. So they all have different needs. They all have different challenges, and so I'm actually really, every single day I feel like I'm a new father. That's the thing. You can never, you will never know. I once hear someone say that you will never know that you are a successful father, or maybe you have passed off as a good father, until you see how your children bring up your grandchildren. And
Wow.
it's only from what you have imparted into their lives, and then they carry that value together with them into their new family, into their new next generation, that you can really say that, okay, I think maybe I've done a good job, but it's a very, very long journey, and I think in this journey you need a lot of help.
Yeah.
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 So
Yeah.
that's why I
Yeah.
see it's humbling, because a lot of times you might think you might think you are the know-it-all daddy, yeah, and you're supposed to be, right? I mean, we all are supposed to be heroes of our family, of our children,
Yeah.
someone that they can look up to. But nowadays, they are looking into their handphones. Google is my papa, Google is my mama, So I'm facing that challenge now. So I don't know about you, Daniel, because not yet. Your child is still very young, so it's still okay. But for I would say 8 years old and above, every day they're going through this. So it's like how to disengage that and then engage with me. Yeah, so that's what I'm learning and what I'm trying to achieve now.
Wow. Yeah, really, the part that earlier you mentioned about being, it's a very humbling journey for you. And I really picked up from your sharing, Darren, that, it's not just humbling as a whole process, but because with 4 kids, and every child's personality is different, So it's not like a cookie cutter approach, So which with every child, it is a humbling journey itself. Learning how to work with them, communicate with them. What works for the first child might not work for the second child. You have to
there's no
try
one
different ways.
formula. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, really, thanks for sharing. How about you, for you, Daniel? How is it for you so far? How has fatherhood changed you as a person, as a husband, as a son to your parents? How has it changed?
I would like to think that it has changed for a lot better. Yeah, like Darren is super humbling. I have the tendency to be less relational. Yeah, so I am a very like on the task kind of guy. So for me it's okay, do this ABC, do it well. Okay, don't question. Let's go. Yeah, but as I have a daughter, and actually she's very blessed because she has grandparents who really love her and help to take care of her. Yeah, but we have very different views at times. So sometimes we end up in quarrels. Yeah, but it's in these quarrels that I also self-reflect. Like, have I gone too far? Like, is my tone not right? Yeah, so all these opportunities are actually for me to reflect. Yeah, although there were conflicts. Yeah, but I think after apologizing and reflecting, I hope to emerge better every single time. Yeah, of course, hopefully to come to a point where it's minimal and the conflicts don't have to be bad. Yeah, it's just like minor conflicts, and then misunderstanding. Let's move on. Yeah. So for me, I think one of the big things that happened was that it challenged me to really see from other people's perspective better. Yeah, I have to see that really people meant well. Yeah, sometimes, and I'm overthinking, and therefore I shouldn't be. Yeah, I need to like stay calm, listen to people, and that has been a very humbling experience for me. Yeah, and of course, having a child now, it will mean that there's a lot less time for myself, a lot less time to sleep. Yeah, so there's a lot of readjustments over there. Yeah, so like for example, my work, my previous work, I used to OT quite a lot. Yeah, even though they were very nice, they let me take the leave. But when I came back, there was like so much because it was like the crunch period. So there were days that, in fact, weeks that we OT until like 2 to 3 a.m. every day. Yeah, so it was extremely exhausting. Yeah, so that was when I decided that, okay, maybe this is not sustainable because I have a kid now. Doing this is not the best for the kid and my health, and not good for the family also. Yeah, so because of that, I started to think about shifting around so that I can find better balance. So yeah, another area of change was time management and even work. Yeah.
Wow, and both of you have rightfully said so that in your journey you have had to make a lot of adjustments, humbling yourself to learn, adjustments to your schedules. There were a lot of things of learning itself. And even myself as a father of a 6-year-old kindergarten age kid. I realized I really concur with both of you. I have to learn so much, and my learning is like it's not like 1 year old you learn something. Then when they are 2 years old you learn something. I'm like every day. There are new patterns coming up. When he goes to school, he encounters different things. He comes back, and we just have to grapple with that. And this is just about parenting, right? Fathering. And when combined with things like work, stress, and the demands of life, it's not easy. Which is why it's not easy. Which is why I really appreciate, what Focus on the Family Singapore plans to do. In the starting tomorrow, we actually are launching a Father's Day campaign. And in this Father's Day campaign, we are actually, helping dads to be more involved. Learning how to be more involved. So releasing quite a lot of resources, articles, downloadables to share with fathers how they can be more involved as a dad, recognizing that challenges and struggles around. So this is really a special shout out to Focus on the Family Singapore and all those are tuning in. Stay tuned tomorrow. Where all the some of the resources start slowly coming out starting tomorrow. Do tune in to their Facebook page and to download some of these really wonderful resources. I think right now I want to pick up a little comment or a question that was posed to all of us here as dads. From Jennifer. On our Facebook Live, it actually says that to share with the audience, what is the most important thing you learned about yourself through fatherhood? Wow, one statement, but very deep. All right.
Very deep. Well, that's the most important thing that I learned about fatherhood.
About myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
yeah, like what I shared earlier,
Mm.
you just need to remind yourself that the end goal, there's no end goal. In fact, your entire life is that's for life. You're really on a journey until the end of your time, and so you don't have to beat yourself too much if you don't do very well, and you just need to be involved. You just need to be there. You just need to try to listen and try to be a friend to your child. I think that's what's most important. Yeah, for me.
Mm. Thanks,
for
thanks,
me,
Darren. Yeah.
I think that something I learned is collaboration can go a long way. Yeah, as much as I would like to be independent because I'm the only child, So growing up, I'm like learn to be independent on my own, not to depend so much on other people. Yeah, so for me, pretty much is that I learned that collaboration is very good. Sometimes asking for help is also going to help the situation, especially where I don't know so many things. I'm a first time father. Yeah, and of course, at the end of the day, the most important thing when it comes to fathering is the welfare of the kid. Yes, we
Mm.
shouldn't be like trying to put our egos in place or like trying to go a certain way just because we think it's better. But rather, I think discussing it with loved ones, especially those that really know the kid well, this will really go very far because you all can discuss and brainstorm which is the best path forward and how can you all even split the duties so that everyone can be less tired. Yeah, so collaboration was something that I learned through this whole journey.
Collaboration, well said, well said. Yeah, I think for me really was realizing that in this journey of fatherhood, how much I was influenced by my own dad. Whether was what he did well or what in a sense like he probably didn't do. So those that he did well, I definitely will want to like I think this is really cool, this is really good, and I want to emulate.
Yes.
But for areas which I felt like there were shortfalls where I didn't feel too good because he didn't do this or he did this. I remind myself constantly, with the help of my wife as well, to not fall in a sense, to repeat those aspects as well. And I'll be very honest to admit it's tough. It's tough because sometimes the ones that we try to avoid, we tend to slip into those modes very easily. The impatience, the talking down on the kids, and that is. But I felt that just recognizing it is the first step of learning. Being aware is the first step of learning as well. So really, thank you, Jennifer, for prompting that question. I think it's really helpful for all of us. Yeah. Now, Darren and Daniel, we want to come to really the crux of today's conversation. The title of today's Facebook Live is about the unspoken things. Okay, about being a dad. So from both your journeys and your experience in fatherhood thus far, what do you think are the unspoken things about being a dad that we should talk a lot more about, in the community, in society? Yeah.
Mm, for me, I think it's the challenges, right? Like earlier, I mentioned that actually the father's role is the leader at home, and
Mm.
so um, when that duty is being taken away by electronics and all that, then I think it's really quite challenging for fathers. Yeah, so we should really try to engage the children a lot more.
To engage the children more, talk about some of these real tensions and struggles that dads honestly
Mm.
face. Yeah. Daniel, how about you? What do you think
For
are some
me,
unspoken things we should talk about more about dads?
yeah, I think that for me it's largely to do with work and balancing because when I went back to work after my 1 month break, immediately I was like back in the game doing the work because it was reporting a week. Yeah, so I was like writing reports, doing all the crunching all the figures. Yeah, but something really caught my attention, which is like my boss, higher level boss, actually was saying things like, "Oh yeah, now that you're back, very good. I hope you had a good break. Yeah, now you can just let the mom take over and take care of the child." But for me, I feel that this is something that's maybe don't say it, but they all feel it, which is like actually maybe I want to spend more time with my kid too. Yeah, and it would be good if like I have the opportunity to take even more time off or like have a little bit more flexibility in my timings or even work arrangements so that I can have the time to help my wife. and also to bond with my child. Because honestly, that 1 month, right, my baby is just sleeping most of the time. Yeah, it's a lot of washing the stuff and cleaning up the baby, feeding the baby, burping the baby. Then you only sleep like in 2-hour chunks, so it's pretty tiring already after a whole month of that. Yeah, but coming back to work, yes, focus on the work, but at the same time, like I think that colleagues and bosses can really go an extra mile for young dads or even young moms to really look out for their welfare, and also giving them more space, be more family friendly in that sense, whereby you provide this flexibility for them to juggle the new better. Yeah, so I felt that that is an unspoken need. Yeah, that I only told a few friends here and there and family. Yeah, but I think this needs to come out more in society. Yeah, so that like employers can take a look and rethink certain things. Yeah.
More paternity
Nice.
leave. Yay.
Yeah, Daniel, we have an audience who asked a question. I think you will be the most appropriate person to answer is all right. Baby is due next month. What are your top
Yay.
3 tips for me?
Wow. Yeah, I think yes, sleep. You're gonna miss it for the next few months. So sleep, take good care of yourself. Eat properly. Make sure that you have everything, all these cycles are well in place, because you're gonna have quite a disrupted cycle after this for a while. And the other thing is also, I wouldn't say baby proof the house, but rather make the house ready for both the wife and the baby. Because for the wife, right, who gives birth, there will be a lot of physical needs. Yeah, so like if it's a natural birth or C-sec, there will be different kinds of needs, and the house needs to be ready for that. So if it's natural birth, you might want to buy the floaty ring thing, like those donut ring. Yeah, because that will help the wife. Yeah, because we made a mistake of not getting that on time. Yeah, so my poor wife had to like suffer for a while without that ring, and so she couldn't sit down properly. She had to like lie down instead. Yeah, so there are things like this that need to be adjusted. Go through it, find a checklist, and go through all the items that you need to have for a newborn, even up to 3 months. Yeah, get everything ready. Yeah, so get all these things done, and you won't be so stressed. Yeah, and during nearing the delivery time, right, I would say that if you can try to like keep all the heavy engagements away, so that you can make time to be there. Yeah, if you can, yeah, be there at the point of delivery, because that experience is really life changing. I will never forget that when I got to cut the umbilical cord myself. Yeah, when I saw my baby for the
Wow.
first time instead of just the ultrasound. It's like, wow, this is a human being born already. Yeah, I get to see her take her first breath and cry. Yeah, still blood and everything, but yeah. So cleaning her up, helping to hold the tube to suck all the things out from her mouth and lungs. Yeah, so all these experiences are unique. They are difficult to explain, but when you're there, I think it's a very rewarding experience. So yeah, my third tip is try to make time and be there if you can. Yeah, it will be a big support for your wife, to knowing that the husband is around. Although for my wife, I tried my best, because during the antenatal classes that we went to, the coach actually taught us like breathing techniques, this and that, how to help your wife. Yeah, so I did all those things. I thought like, okay, maybe I'm doing a good job. So I look at the contraction charts, and then I tell my wife together with the nurse, okay, push and everything. Yeah, but at the end of everything, the next day she told me that, oh, you were saying things that I didn't hear anything at all. And I was like,
No, actually the breathing lesson is for the father, so that you will not faint. Yeah, when you see blood and all that.
That's true. That's true. That's
Can
true.
I just add one more tip also? I think this is very
Yes.
important. I think this is the time when the husbands, you really need to give a lot of love, and you should really pamper your wife, because she's going through a very, physically is a very demanding process. And after that, she'll be very tired, she'll be weak. So if you want to score point, this is the best time, right? You pamper her. Next time you want anything, also easy already.
Hear it from the man
Agreed,
who has 4 kids.
Yeah.
Agree. Yeah. No, I think, and I really agree that, as we talk about fatherhood, as the baby is coming, it's more than just the focus on the child itself, but really a lot of attention should be on the wife, the mothers too. All right. Yeah. I want to pose Darren a question because this was one of the
Mm,
questions that our audience posed before we jump to the final segment of our Facebook Live.
yeah.
Adriel asked, for Darren, Adriel is a new dad,
Mm,
So Darren, from your experience, if you could turn back time, all right, the song, all right, if only I could turn back time, okay, something like that, right?
yeah.
Yeah. What is something you would prioritize to do better?
Oh, that's a tough question again. Why you all give me tough questions, one? Well, to be really
You have
honest,
four children.
prioritizing, right? I think you can never get enough of it. Is time.
Mm,
It's really to prioritize your time with your children, with your wife, and and it's like, yeah, but well, you can't help it, right? You gotta go to work, and so you can, yeah, if you can, you prioritize that time, and also the involvement. I mean, I'm already a full-on hands-on dad, but I think still not enough. How you wish, yeah, like what Daniel said, right? How you wish you can just have more time with the child, yeah. And I think that
Yeah.
bonding is so special, yeah.
Thanks for sharing your time. It's something that it's such a precious commodity that we really wish we could have more. And I know all of us, for Daniel, Darren, and myself, as we shared, and we wish to have more time, is really because we want to be more involved. Continually, not just for that season, young child,
Mm,
but every stage. Journeying through their teenagehood and their adult, we want to be involved as a dad. So
yeah.
coming to this final segment of our Facebook Live, I want to ask this question. Uh, so we have really explored and seen that fatherhood journey is different yet also quite similar to a bit like motherhood, same but different. All right, we grapple with identity changes, and I think all of us will agree we need more sleep, we need more me time, same as our wives. Okay, and I'd like to ask both of you this question. Actually, for both of you, you are so involved as a father, but actually, take a step back. How did you learn about the importance of a father's involvement?
I don't know. I think it's just a very natural thing that you want to be involved, and you want to um, be there for your child, uh,
Mm,
and especially so when they are at about 6, 7 years old. You know why?
mm-hmm,
Because from 0 years old all the way up to 6 years old, they are very dependent on the mums. Why? Because
mm,
mum will breastfeed them, will feed them, will change them, will brush their teeth in the night, will read them big time stories and such. But once they reach like 6, 7 years old, they're ready to explore the world. You know, they're ready to go out there to run and to have fun, and they will always think, "Hey, daddy is the one to go to." So I feel that the involvement of a father is more so important when they come to like 6, 7 years old. You really got to be there for them, and that's why
mm.
I feel that mom's work, right, is like almost done after they reach 6 years old. But from 7 years old onwards, right, all the way, the importance of the involvement of a father is so much more in every aspect of their life. Yeah,
Mm,
because
mm,
it will really make a mark in their life. Yeah.
Yeah, and also at this age, like you mentioned, at the 6 7 years old, when they start entering into primary school, and you
Mm,
earlier talked about the influence of like media, technology, and all. There's a lot of influence that are coming
mm,
into a child's life at this point. And it's important, as a dad, you being more involved, coming in, all right, and to help, either educate or to filter or to teach the children,
yeah.
on how to handle the things of life, right? Through
Mm,
play, through education, and all
yeah.
that. So for you, really, it's about you saw at that age, the coming of
Mm,
age,
mm.
and it's important for you to be involved. Yeah. How about for Daniel? How did you learn about the importance of like a father's involvement?
Yeah, for me, I have read different papers and books on this, and one commonality is that the absence of a father actually has a lot of developmental effects. Like it affects the development of the child in terms of how they see themselves, in terms of how they relate to someone of the opposite sex. Yeah, so this kind of influences, I want to be there so that my daughter, or if I have another child in the future, the children, I want a model to look like. For example, all these things I will hope to be able to model that and help my children develop a healthy relationship with the opposite sex and this and that. But beyond that, I also think that forming the formation of identity, the sense of security, all these things are very important. Having a present dad will help all these, because for children, even at a very young age, although they seem to like go and find the mama when in pain, this and that. Yeah, but somehow young children seem to look up to dads for affirmation of like what they're doing. Like sometimes then they'll look like, are you watching me? Yeah, and this is something that I want to be there. That's why I need time. I want to be there to affirm my child, that you're doing fine, and if necessary, discipline also must do. Yeah, because if you really love your child, you cannot just let the child eat chocolates every day. You know, you need to know what is good for the child and rein them in sometimes. So being involved is very important. I think both the dad and the mom should be very involved. Traditionally, it's more of a mom caretaking kind of thing, but I do believe that dads have a great role to play, especially in terms of their identity formation, their sense of their body image and everything. Yeah, so I think this is where I want to play a big part in. Yeah.
Wow, Daniel, as you're sharing, you can see Darren and myself just profusely nodding our heads in agreement, and it's not because you speak like a research coordinator, but we really, having 4 kids, having our children, we've gone through the seasons, we agree that it's really true. And our Facebook Live audience, you see the comments coming in, they agree. Aaron was just saying that he agrees that dad needs to lead their children and give direction and purpose, to be that positive role model for them. And another comment that came in was, it's true, to what Darren has mentioned earlier, my husband has to be more involved now with my son who is in his teens, because only a dad can teach a boy how to be a man, So, and it's so true, And I would like to, just to push this question a little further, all right? We talk about the importance of a father, and both of you have led the way. You were inspired. You knew it was a coming of age, So we all here knows that being involved, that a present that is important. And I dare to say, again, it has to be consistent throughout the different seasons of a child's life. I'm just wondering, would you have any encouragement and advice for the parents, the fathers who are tuning in right now? Maybe some of them are saying, hey, but my own personal life, I didn't have a father. I don't have a father who was so involved like what you are saying, wow, so involved. Can I still be that good father in future to my children? What do you think?
I think most important is a willing heart. If you're willing to work on it, you definitely will get there one day. And there are a lot of resources out there that can help you. You can go with books, you can read about it. You can also watch good programs that will help you. And I'm sure there are lots of resources that even Focus on the Family would have, that fathers can go to, and they can equip themselves with all this knowledge. And of course, have fun with all these things, have fun exploring also, because it is a journey that it is not just on you, it's a journey together with your child. So it can be, you can be humble enough to tell your child, say, hey, look, I just learned something. I was taught to do this. And do you think it might work for us? Maybe we should just give it a try. There's no harm telling your child that I'm learning to be a father. No, I'm learning to be a better father too. Right? Yeah.
So a willing heart is so important, and you rightfully say so. Just because we didn't have it or we didn't experience that in our own past, in our own journey, doesn't mean we cannot give it to our children. We just need to be willing. And I love what our Facebook comment posting, some of our friends said, nothing is impossible if you have a willing heart, to learn. Yeah. How about Daniel? What do you think about this question? Can I still be a good dad in the future for my kids, despite my past?
Yeah, I think that's a very real question. And it can be very painful to revisit certain things, especially if your relationship with your dad isn't the best. Yeah, but then again, I think think we need to give our dads a break. No one is perfect, right? Yeah, and I'm the only child, so like kind of the first. So I have to give my dad a break because I'm the only one that he gets to try hands on. Yeah, so there of course will be mistakes here and there, but that doesn't mean that my dad only makes mistakes. He has done a lot of good, so I can learn from the good and at the same time also learn from the mistakes. Like, okay, let me try not to do the same. Yeah. So even if we don't have that kind of experience, I think like what Darren said, willingness is really the key. You need to ask yourself like how much involvement do you want to have in your child's life. Yeah, because if you set your mind to it, right, you will naturally put that as your top priority and everything else will align itself. Yeah, because we only have 24 hours a day. You also only have this amount of money unless you like, I don't know, get some more money somewhere through work or something. Yeah, so you have to manage all these resources. So once you get your priorities in order, that will really determine how you grow from there and what you can do. So for myself, I started the entire journey even at pregnancy. Like the moment I knew that I am expecting her to arrive, yeah, I've already started buying the books, start reading up, yeah, and trying to see what I can and change the way I live and this and that, because according to the books they say okay, mothers must not eat certain things, so I also must be respectful of my wife's like don't tempt her, yeah, so I try not to eat raw food in case she accidentally eat raw food, oh man, yeah, or things like this. So yeah, there are adjustments like this that we have to make, and I have to also pay attention to. Yeah, so for me it started all the way there, and I wanted to be involved from the start. Yeah, so I really did it from the start. I go for every single gynae visit. Yeah, so you really be as involved as you want to. Don't let your past hold you back. Yeah, just put your heart to it and ask for help. Look out for resources. I think we live in the digital age, and that can be a very positive thing too. We can read up more and just seek help, ask people. It's okay to admit that you don't know everything, even to your child. I mean, my child is still young. I can't say that. She probably won't understand that. But when she grows up, I'm just going to keep that in mind and also let her know that, I know that you look up to dad, but dad doesn't know everything. So you also have to give chance to dad. We will learn things together. Yeah, so I would like to do that in the future. Yeah.
Wow, I love what you just shared, and that really resonates with me. Even in my own personal journey as a father raising a child. I realized that I didn't know how to. Even I look for past models. I find that maybe from a more my own journey was my parents were a little bit more traditional, so we don't really talk much about emotions. So not really like active engagement with our children. All right. So for me, I think when I raised my child, I struggle. I must be very involved. I must talk about emotions. Check in, and I do not know how. And I think just like Daniel mentioned, you turn to look for help. So your past may not have given you that so-called positive experience, but you look around in your surrounding. We all say it takes a village to raise a child, right? For me, I really reached out to mentors, friends, to guide me, to learn from their experiences as well. So to encourage, really all of us here, yes, you're tuning in, this whole journey of parenting, and especially for fathers, I really want to advocate, reach out. Reaching out is not a sign of weakness, really, because when we reach out, we learn to be, stronger, we learn to be better as a more involved dad itself. I think, if you, thank you so much for all the Facebook Live audience. You're giving us so much positive feedback. We are loving it. That needs affirmation as well.
Yes.
Yeah. That was, I wish we could continue this conversation for another 2 hours, but time has caught up with us, and I really love the wisdom that all Darren, Daniel, you have chipped in. I'm just going to ask for your indulgence, and if you could, I would like to let both of you have the last words as our special guests. Any encouragements, for the fathers who are listening in, or for the moms that are listening, for their husbands too.
Encouragement. Well, that's you're all doing fine. All right, just keep up the good work and just continue doing, continue learning and continue doing your best. Okay. And I think one thing I want to add is really spend more time with your wife. You know, it's very, very important, because when the children, when they see that both husband and wife, they are very loving, they will feel very secure. They'll feel that their whole world is complete. So that's very important, that you give them that kind of environment. And if you do, then everything will fall in place. It will be good. Yeah.
Yes,
Wow.
to love your wife, for all the
Yes.
dads out there.
Yeah.
While we ask Daniel to share the final words of encouragement to all the Facebook Live audience, you can also write your words of encouragement for all the dads out there as well. So put it into the comments. All right. So Daniel, take it away. Your encouragement for dads.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of anxiety at the start. Like, what will happen? How will my child be like? Will they be healthy? Will they be happy? Everything, all these questions. I think we need to sometimes give ourselves a break. Don't be so stressed. Just focus on one step at a time. Of course, it's good to plan ahead. I like to plan ahead, but there's only so much you can do preparing and everything. There's 101 things that can go not your way. So don't be too stressed over things. Go with the flow. Enjoy the process of being a dad to a child. Yeah, I think knowing that you are actually free to make some mistakes here and there and learn from it. Yeah, that will take a lot of stress off you, because if you are holding on so tightly, saying that no, I cannot make mistake, that actually hardens your heart and your ego, and that in the long run will be very bad. So relax, talk to people, talk to your wife, very important. Maintain that relationship strong within the family, so that the child, as they grow up, they can see a very loving couple. Yeah, and that will give them a lot of comfort as well. Yes, yeah, the best gift you can give to your children is to love your spouse. Yeah, that
Yes.
sums up very well. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much, Daniel and Darren. I think all of us who are tuning in really benefited from your nuggets of wisdom. From your own personal journey, from your own personal learning, and on behalf of all the Facebook listeners who are tuning in, really thank you so much. So to our Facebook audience, if you can join me, give the digital reactions. Put in the comments to really thank our two guests,
Thank
Darren.
you.
And Daniel as well, for spending the evening with us. I must confess and tell you that we have spent 52 minutes in this conversation up to this point. It's probably the longest Facebook Live we've ever done, but
Really.
but that's hardly get such airtime, right? So don't worry, all right? Yeah. But because there's so much wisdom, and I'm sure all have benefited from it. So, but before we close, I just want to give a special shout out again to Focus on the Family Singapore. For all the dads, and all dads who wants to be involved, with the children, with your family. Tomorrow, Focus on the Family Singapore is launching our Father's Day campaign. All right, stronger with dad. All right, indeed, not just only the child can be stronger with dad, but the family will be stronger with an involved dad as well. So do tune in to our Facebook page, for resources, materials, articles, downloadables that you can just read on the go, that will help you to, very practical things that will benefit you in growing in that involved that journey itself. All right. So once again, thank you everyone for tuning in, and I echo what some of you have been mentioning. And advance happy Father's Day. All right, to everyone out there, big shout out. All right,
Thank
to all the
you.
dads out there. All right, so thank you so much once again, Darren and Daniel. I really appreciate your time, your wisdom, being with us. Thank you so much.
Thank
All right,
you.
and I'm sure we'll catch up with everyone along the way as well. All right, so thank you so much. All right, we'll see everyone again on our Facebook Live the next time. Good night.